So, if you're a wrestling gamer, chances are you're pretty excited about the upcoming release of WWE 2K24. Unfortunately, about that release to that game is still a month away, which sucks, but there are other games out there that can satisfy your hunger for virtual simulated wrestling combat. So, tonight, I scoured the PlayStation Store looking for something that can do the job. Let's see, they had AEW Fight Forever, severely overrated game that I stopped playing after only a week after I got it. Oh, and by the way, how the fuck is this still $60?
How, Sway? Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
And let's see, Fire Pro Wrestling, another overrated game from an even more overrated game franchise, I must say. Let's see. Oh, what's this? A definitely reasonably priced game that may not have the best graphics in the world, but I mean, $2.99, that's such a deal. Maybe we can give this a shot. But before we buy, let's look at the reviews. Let's look at some YouTube gameplay videos. Let's do our research here. Well, the reviews seem very promising for the most part. There is a 26% chance that I'm going to really like this game. The 1-star reviews, maybe those were from people that were just having a bad day, or maybe their finger slipped when they were selecting the star rating for the review. But anyway, let's look at some YouTube gameplay videos, see what's going on there. Well, I have to say, based on the videos I watched, I was blown away, absolutely blown away by the animation. They were truly unlike anything I had ever seen before, and I really do mean that. You could tell the developers really put their heart and soul when, crafting the different moves and the different character models, and there was one person who uploaded a video that said they got it for like $4 and some change. Me, after tax, all I had to pay was $3.19. Which is quite a steal, I'll tell you, but let's see if the game really lives up to that $3.19. So I bought it, I hit play, and this is what happened. So the game makes it really convenient for you in terms of getting used to the controls, because they put the controls right in the entrance as you're making your entrance for some reason. And granted, there are only like 4 of them, so they make it really accessible to, new players that way. I think that was a real big thing, and what made No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain is just the simplicity. So they really the developers really subscribe to the idea of less is more here. And, looking at this, you can tell not only is it simple to play, but it's very fun to play. I mean, look at the realistic animations. It's like pretty much as if you're in the ring with them. It's like it really makes you feel like a wrestler. Or like if you were having a fever dream where you were a wrestler. But in most wrestling games, you can just attack your opponent willy-nilly. But in this game, after you attack your opponent, you have to wait for your opponent to get up. You have to choose from either a grapple move, which is triangle, or a punch, which is circle, and then a kick, which is, I believe, either square or X. But anyway, you got to hit your opponent with these moves until their health bar is pretty much depleted. And you do have 3 different difficulties to choose from, as you probably saw earlier. But to be honest with you, after playing all 3 difficulties, the difficulty of the AI pretty much all feels the same to me, which I think is honestly ingenious, because sometimes when I'm playing WWE games, I feel like the easy AI is just too easy, so I crank it up to the highest level, and then I really get challenged, and sometimes I get my ass kicked. But with this game, you can crank it up to the highest level and you'll never be challenged, which I think is really convenient. It's really thoughtful of the developers to do that, because honestly, who wants to be challenged? Who wants to go in and get their ass kicked by a robot? Not me. And even if you do find yourself in some trouble, you can always hit the button that tags your opponent in, which I think is square, and this will pretty much stop the match dead in its tracks, regardless of what's going on. And then you'll be fighting with a fresh wrestler, and ultimately, there's a 99% chance you're going to win the match. And that's actually another thing. For some reason, there's no single matches or 3-way matches in this game. It's just tag matches, which honestly, I think is a really big, ingenious feature, because I feel like in games and in wrestling in real life, tag team wrestling is just so overlooked and not focused on enough. So this was another really solid move by the developers. As you win more matches, you do get the opportunity to unlock wrestlers that may seem to bear somewhat of a resemblance to some wrestlers in real life, like The Undertaker and Rey Mysterio, but I'm sure that's just a coincidence, and the developers had no intention of ripping off their likeness. And another really nice thing that the developers do is that they give you a trophy after you win your first 15 matches. The match you just watched was my 4th match, so after that I played another 10 matches. Well, technically 10 and a half matches if you count the one time I had to restart a match because my guy glitched out of the ring and there was no possible way to get back in it. But yeah, after I collected all of the trophies the game has to offer, that's pretty much it. Of course, you can go on to play more matches, but honestly, the whole experience, my 15-match experience, was so rewarding and fulfilling that I really don't feel like there's a real need to keep playing, which is why I uninstalled the game after my 15th match and have no intention to ever play it again, because I just felt such a sense of accomplishment after winning the last trophy that I don't know, I may be done with wrestling games altogether, because, I mean, once you reach the top of the mountain, and not just the top of the mountain, but the top of, like, the highest mountain there is, I mean, what else is there left to do? It's like I've finished my story. But, you know, I really do highly recommend this game if you want to really experience what a wrestling game should be. And, you know, it is definitely not a waste of your $3. In fact, you better snag that deal up before the end of this month, because come the 22nd, I believe, that's going to be gone. So get the game while it's red hot and on sale. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Have a good night.